This is just gonna be like a quick little what I read last month, little wrap up. Because I had a really good reading month last month. Oh my gosh. What was that, guys? I'm scared. I read like, I think 13 books. So, yeah. I bet you're jealous. And I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna get into it. The first book that I read last month was Missing White Woman by Kelly Garrett. And I ranked it 3.5 stars on Goodreads. I've been reading a lot of mysteries, forward slash thrillers. Actually, I would say I'm reading more thrillers than I am mysteries. But I'm reading a lot of, like, mystery thrillers recently. And I would say, like, this book was the one that kicked off the trend. Thriller, I would say, is one of my favorite, if not my favorite. I mean, lit fic is my favorite genre. But if it's, like, a thriller lit fic, then it's my favorite. You know what I'm saying? But, like, thriller is definitely one of my favorite genres. So it's not like I didn't read thrillers before this, but in this, like, recent groove that I had, especially last month, I read mostly thrillers last month. So that's where, like, this book really kicked off that groove that I got into and read all those thrillers. So, I thought it was a very intriguing read. I didn't love the ending. It was the motivations were a little bit for me. But I did, like, it was definitely a page turner, which I think is the most important thing about a thriller. Like, it better be thrilling. I better want to be reading it, right? Which, that may or may not be foreshadowing. The second book that I read this month was Unladylike Rules of Attraction. I read most of these on ebook because it's just easier for me to get books that way. I mean, I could go down to my local library, but my librarians are rude, so I kind of avoid them. Ooh. But, I read this one. If you watched I entered every Goodreads giveaway, part 1, actually, mind you, this was part of that, and I gave a little bit of my thoughts there, but I will touch on it here. I'll, like, touch on it. This is a 3.5, for someone who's, like, a low-key romance hater. I really enjoyed this book. Like, he just wants attention, you guys. He just wants attention. Munchie, come. Munchie, come. Come. I enjoyed this book, yeah. Especially, like, I'm just literally just recapping, but, especially, like, in the historical romance, which, again, that's another genre I don't really ever touch. I thought this book was really good. So if you were a romance lover, I would say pick up this book. And pick up anything else that Amina Murray has written. Because she... very well done, in my opinion. The third book I read... Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. And I gave it that time and that space for a reason, because this book is really bad. I've read another book by Geneva Rose. I read it, like, it was one of the very first books that I read this year. I hated that book. I absolutely hated that book. To be honest, it might be one of the worst books I've ever read. I didn't realize who this book was by, or, like, rather I didn't make the connection in my brain, prior to picking it up and reading it. So, yeah. I get to the end, and it's like, other books by Geneva Rose, and it's like, The Perfect Marriage. I'm like, I fucking hated that book. No wonder. this book is definitely not, or the book that I read, Home is Where the Bodies Are, is definitely not as bad as The Perfect Marriage. But it's definitely still a 1-star. The writing was just bad. It was like, yeah, it was just bad. It felt stunted and tedious. The worst sin is that it was boring, and, see my previous comments. Like, I literally can't even remember what this book was about. That's how boring it was. I read this book a month ago. I'm like, wait, which book was that? I was going through my, Goodreads. I was like, what book was that? What one was that about? I don't think I could tell you a synopsis of this book. The next book I read was Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Q. Sutanto. This is a 3.5, almost a 4. This book was so cute. If you are a fan of cozy mysteries, and when I read a mystery, not like a thriller mystery, I love cozy mysteries, right? This book is the perfect cozy mystery in my opinion. So if that's your thing, if you love cozy mysteries, pick up this book. I don't want to spoil too much, but I will add
Guess he wasn't recording. Yeah. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm great, actually. I'm perfect. No notes. No notes. None. None at all. No notes. Okay.
next book I read, The Tearsmith by Aaron Doom. This was another 1-star. Did I have any other 1-stars? I don't remember. Yes, I did. This was another 1-star. It was another Goodreads giveaway. And I'm just I don't have a lot to say about this one. Just don't even be expecting another video specially dedicated to this book because it was so strange and weird. Definitely don't, because it's none of those things, actually. Moving on, we have Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Tamaguchi. I need to behave normally. Actually, everything I do is normal. Did you ever consider that? Yeah, I didn't think so. So, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, this book is beautiful. I loved this book. I loved I don't know what I'm trying to say, y'all. I had the perfect take last time. No notes. I just need to take a nap, I think. I've taken 2 already today. It's not enough. I need 3 naps just to get through the day. It's literally almost bedtime. Actually, I should be in bed right now. Embarrassing. Okay. Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Tamaguchi. 4 stars. This book was beautiful. This one hits you at your heartstrings, right? This book, I wasn't even fully through this book and I was already sobbing. So, that's all I'm gonna say. I just can't do anymore. I need to be mad about something, which is a good thing. I'm moving on to this next book. Everyone in my family has killed someone by Benjamin Stevenson. This book sucks! Sorry. It's not even that severe. 2 stars. This book is not funny. Actually, it's the opposite of funny. What? The opposite of funny is not funny. Realizing some things. This book isn't funny, and it, like, really thinks it is funny. That's the thing. It thinks it's so funny, and actually, it's painfully unfunny. I'm like, please, stop trying. Why can't I low-key do a good sob? But I can't ever get the tears. It's tragic, really. Okay. Next on to Brutes by Diz Tate. 5 stars. Shelved in. Greatest books I've ever read. On my Goodreads. Go follow me. Mind you. Why did my voice do that? Mind you. I can't replicate it. It like did a warble warble. I like don't ever seem to have a lot to say about books that I love. Like, books that I hate, I'll rant and rave about. I love to rant and rave about books that I hate. But books that I love, I'm like, yeah, it was good. Or whatever. I think. No, this book was great, actually. The writing was beautiful. I loved the storytelling. This book uses second-person point of view for, like, most of the book. And it flawlessly executed. In my opinion, mind you. I've read, like, a lot of books recently that use second person, like, passingly, and none of them do it well. But this book does it well. So, if you're interested in reading a thriller type book with second person, this is the one you should read. And I would know. Being the arbiter of taste. Next. Meanwhile, me being the arbiter of taste, Rouge by Mona Awad. This book, 2 stars. Didn't even need a cough. I hated this book. Unfortunately, this is a running theme for the month of May. Lots of bad books. I just forgot the word read. Maybe I'm an idiot. No, I'm actually a genius. I was so disappointed by this book. I've heard, like, only good things about Mona Awad and her writing. And I just want to say, to anyone who is actually, that's a little too far. I can't personally attack people. The people I'm attacking, where are they? Personally? Let me just say what I was thinking. I'm actually not gonna say that. I'm gonna save my ire for a specific book, and you'll see which one. So. The next book I read was Wrong Place or Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. I give this one 3 stars, and I don't know why. Because what I remember when I was reading this book was, this book is boring, the writing sucks, this book is boring, please can it be done? Like, I would have DNF'd this book. What? I would have DNF'd this book. I would have DNF'd this book if the premise wasn't so interesting. If you know anything about this book, which I'm not going to spoil because it is an interesting premise. The premise is interesting. Yeah. I've said that like 1 trillion times. And I wanted to see where the story would go because it was like, this is interesting. This is captivating. well, not captivating. God bless America. God bless America. I don't know the rest of the words. I'm just gonna move on to the next book, which was Bunny by Mona Awad. And I'm not going to have video for this part because my audio was recording what I did for the first part when I thought I was recording, and it's going to be good enough. I'm not going to try and summarize my thoughts again, so you're gonna have to deal with it. Now, this is the next one I was talking about, is Bunny by Mona Awad. This is a painful 1 star. I said in my review for Rouge, I'm ranking this 2 stars because this book is not for me, right? But I can see that this book might be for someone. But Bunny, this book should not exist. I hated this book with a burning passion. I finished it out of spite. I did read it out of spite, actually. It's kind of on me because I was like, I didn't like Rouge, so let me read Bunny, even though I probably won't like it. And I didn't. I actually hated this book so much. It made me so angry reading every word of this stupid book. Oh my gosh. I hated the stupid pseudo-intellectual, pseudo-surreal, pseudo-interesting nature of this book, right? I hated everything about this book because this book really pretends that it's smart and it's like, oh wow, this really weird, out there, interesting, very smart saying something book, but it's not. If you read the book and you have 2 brain cells rattling around in your brain, like if you're not, I'm gonna reel it back, be nice. But like, if you can critically think about what is being said in this book, you'll realize it's not smart. This book is not a criticism or like a critique. This book is not like a witty and powerful criticism on what it claims to be criticizing. It's stupid. That's the best word I can find to describe this book. If you have read this book and you didn't like this book, if you liked this book, then whatever. But if you read this book and you didn't like this book, you will understand what I'm saying. Because this book is not smart. It really tries to be smart. It pretends to be smart. I wouldn't say it even tries to be smart. I think Mona Awad was just bullshitting. Maybe. I can't say that. I don't know the lady. I'm leaving it here. I don't have anything nice to say, so I'm not going to say anything nice at all. The book after that was The Looking Glass Sound by Katrina Ward. There's an O in there. I don't know how it's pronounced, but this book was a 3.75, teetering onto a 4. This one was just like, it was pretty thrilling, page turning, and I really liked the ending. It wasn't like perfectly executed, but I did like what the ending was and how it played itself out, and so that's why this one got such a high ranking for moi. Then we have Making Room by Carl Siciliano. I did not rate this one, but I read it for sure. This was the last one in my Goodreads giveaway that I read this May, and it was the only nonfiction book that I read in May. I don't have a lot to say about nonfiction books other than, they are, like I've said previously, nonfiction's just kind of boring to me unless the prose is like very, very good. And it's not that this book was poorly written, but it wasn't just like very, very good. Immediately got me into it. So that's why. Lastly, the last book that I read last month was Yinka, Where Is Your Husband? By Lizzie Demilola Blackburn. I'm just gonna say husband. I don't have an accent that can properly execute how it's like said in the book. So I'm just gonna say husband. Yinka, Where's Your Husband? This book was a 3-star. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was very cute, sort of like a feel-good book to end the month out. So it made me smile. I really liked Yinka, her character and her character growth. That all felt very earned and very well done. So that was nice. The only thing that was like was the ending, which was why this one probably was not a 3.5 when I first ranked it. I might bump that up, but because the ending was sort of rushed, and it was just like ding, checking off this box, ding, checking off this box, ding, checking off this box, and it was like tying up everyone's loose ends, but everyone's loose ends was just giving them happy little endings. And that's not like a bad thing that they all got happy endings. It's just the way it was sort of executed, I guess. But I recommend reading this book. I actually definitely recommend reading this book. To be honest, this book was very faith-centered, which I wasn't expecting. But yeah. And that's the video! That's basically all the books that I read last month. Actually, not basically. It literally was all the books that I read last month. So yeah. Like, subscribe, follow my Goodreads, follow my Letterboxd, follow my Substack. I'm sorry, guys. I just want to apologize for that noise that I made. Right, well, cheerio. Cheers! I just drank water.